No, man, let's start.
All right, greetings again, all the friends and fans all over the world, USA, Jamaica. We're just happy, man, to able to come back. We believe that the program is ready to roll right now. We have want to apologize for the technical difficulty that was experienced in the last hour or two, but we have committed to make sure that we're gonna go the extension. We're going to do whatever possible to get this interview because we know that, look, this is three States St. Elizabeth technical guy on the podium on the stream right now. So we're gonna just know that, look, Richie could tell you and Ian could tell you, all three of us play sports. And I run track, I run hurdles, Richie footballer, Ian cricketer. We could tell you that many times we go in a football match, the bus break down, all kind of thing happen, right? So this is just a living testimony of all the part of what we've been through, during some of our years. But guess what? We wouldn't change anything because everything we've done right now have make us a stronger person. So with no further word to say, we're gonna let Ian officially introduce himself, and then the next word you'll hear is the voice of Richie Innocent.
All right, guys, welcome back, and thank you guys for being patient, especially Althea Brown as she just pop up again. Work on integrity to the world. Thank you, Althea, for the prayers. Thank you for everyone who came on the broadcast and was just waiting for the great Richie Innocent to grace the stage with his wonderful voice, that he have been using lately in dub poetry. The man who have been basically receiving awards of excellence because of the music that he brings, the energy that he brings. I'm not gonna even talk anything about myself right now. We're just gonna bring on Richie Innocent. Tell us a little bit about you, Richie, where you're coming from, your background, or you get into States, and then we're gonna get into the music.
Blessed love to all Stetsonian, wherever you are, home and abroad. Well, this is always, the experience that, us at St. Elizabeth Technical High School, we always go through difficulties. It's never easy, and through our motto, work, hard work and integrity, this is what has always guided us along the way. Weekly know that, just as Weekly said in the introduction, we have gone through many situations where, it's just resilience. And as Ian has said, my genesis is that I was born in Kingston, Jamaica, at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. It's not a makeup that,
Right.
Yeah, we have the certificate show. You know what I mean? We have the certificate. We have the certificate show. You know what I mean? Yeah. So born in Victoria Jubilee Hospital, and thing, and the early years of my life was spent in Kingston, at the garrison. You know what I mean? We live in several different communities. When my early life, after leaving from Victoria, I went to Concrete Jungle, Arnett Garden. At one point in time, I was living in Waterhouse. At one point in time, I was living at, Brownstone. That's off Winward Road at Ellison School. At one point in time, I was living at, I was living at Norman Terrace, that is in East Kingston. So we live in several communities in the inner city. At one point in time, we were being called refugee. But then, yeah, we were called refugee because we moved in so many places, Craigtown, all about the place, So it was a situation, you know what I mean, that occurred, and as a result of that, the landlady said she don't want me in the place. You know, so my grandmother had to ship me out because I get upset and kick down the door, kick down the bathroom door, because my sister teased me. My sister teased me and thing. And I just wake up and I just get upset and kick down the door. So the landlady say, yo, we don't want that boy in my house. So my grandmother shipped me off to St. Elizabeth. And it was the best thing that ever happened, you know what I mean? So my stepmother ended up, you know, at the time, the lady that was with my father at the time, her name is we call her Fatty Josephine. May I bless her upset speed. You know, she took me to Lacovia, you know, and got me admitted into, you know, school admission into Lacovia. So I spent 2 years at Lacovia, and those 2 years I was always active in sports at the same time, you know what I mean? And always in the doing drama and dancing. So it was while I was at Lacovia, you know, we ended up playing a final at State. So I played against Newell, you know, in the junior team, and we ended up winning the game. We swapped them 6-0, you know what I mean, at State. So during that performance, that was when I was spotted by the coaching staff at State. But you know that I'm from Jerusalem in Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
The only, yeah? Jerusalem University.
Come on.
Yeah? So
all right.
That's where.
All right, Richie, hold it right there. You know, I definitely want to get into the stats part. I learned some things about you today that I didn't really know before. You know, I met you at Stats. I believe, if you could correct me, but I believe that I went to Stats at 87. I think you might be into Stats probably 89 or 90, somewhere around there.
So I came to States the 6th of September 1988. Fresh out of
all right. So yeah, you came in 1 year after me, and then I play under 14 with guys like Steve Powell and you know, some other guys. All right. And then we actually play under 16. So guys, for the record, so Richie Innocent entered the institution of St. Elizabeth Technical in 1988, right? Was that the year of Hurricane Gilbert?
Yes, that was.
All right.
Yeah, so to my knowledge. What you say about that, Ian? Make a fact check. You want to fact check, you know, because we're getting older, you know. You know, so sometimes the brain kind of, you know what I mean, distant memory.
No worries, no worries. I believe it was 1988 that was Gilbert. Yeah, it was 88,
man.
88. So yeah. So so remember, you know, so can you remember? So let's move back to, can you remember exactly when you get into States in 1988 and then starting school, and then you got the hurricane where school was closed? Can you just give us a little update of where you was and what did you do during that time?
Well, at that time I was at my home, because you know what I mean. Hurricane Gilbert caught me in Jerusalem. I was in scheme, you know, so I can remember quite clearly that you know, I was at my home. I wasn't at the school, but I knew that the players from the Dakar team, they were at the institution. So it was after Gilbert came and went, then I ended up going back over at Quest, and then I would begin training for under 16.
Okay. All right. So,
but then we went over there and saw the devastation with the you know what I mean, the pavilions.
All right. Yes, and I could remember the same thing that I pretty much walk around Santa Cruz. I know there was a store right in the middle of Institution Drive by the library that used to play the music. Can't remember the name, but
that's where Tougher Gun sound used to be, man. Tougher Gun. Across the road with the sound system, Tougher Gun sound system, yes.
All right. So I know that you even though you know, I still considered you a Santa Cruz man. Even though you know, because that's where our journey started. Even though that you have got some transition before that. So getting to States at 1988. Just tell us a little bit about your first year at Stets. How were you welcome at Stets, knowing that you're coming to a institution that are known to have real good sports players, and but no, how did you feel welcome your first year at Stets? Just tell us a little bit about some of the one of your experience during your first year at Stets.
Well, my first year at States, it was an experience, and it was a beautiful experience, because that at that time in St. Elizabeth, every youth wanted to attend States because Monroe and States was the only high school, especially where boys could enter. If you don't pass your exam, yeah, for Monroe College, that's it. The only other high school, that was embracing and welcoming would be St. Elizabeth Technical High School. So most of the schools that were in St. Elizabeth, from Lacovia to Black River to Magati to Balaclava, even Junction, BB Coke was Junction. All these schools were secondary schools. Yeah. So
Yeah.
getting the opportunity, to go into States. And I must say this, that Ted Roy Jones played an integral role, in me going to States. Because he saw me in my community and approached my father. And that's how I ended up at States, so that they could see me. You know what I mean? So, when I went into States, the ragging thing started, because the ragging was very prevalent, and what basically saved me was my ability to DJ, because I remember I started States in 8D, yeah, at Scorpion, the great Scorpion, yeah, and
Yeah.
I remember Mrs. Cornwall, my English literature teacher came, and she said one day that anybody that can present a poem, find a way to present it. Yeah, she wants us to, use our creative skill. And when a friend of mine in my class, Martin Cole, made an attempt, fair attempt, and then it was my turn. So I ended up, doing the ballad of an old man. But the thing about it is I always hear General Trees that sing a song named, the ballad of 65. So in the same book, I realized that it was on the other side, so I began singing it. So when I started singing the ballad of an older man, the teacher began dancing, and it goes a little something like this, where, I say, this are the ballad of an old man, this are the ballad of an old man. There was an old woman who never was wed. Of 21 children was she brought to bed. She gave them all her poor means that she could afford, and brought them all up in the fear of the Lord. As soon as they grew up, each sailed away, one after the other to the great USA. Sometimes they thought of her, sometimes they wrote, sometimes they sent her a $5 note. But when in the case of the long waiting years, the letter C's coming to dry her tears. And when the old shed roof collapsed from decay, she went to Arms House and walked all the way. And there she mothered many motherless brat, who slept at her shoulder and pulled at her plait. Till one day she sick, next day she died. They brought out the earth and put her inside. Only weakles and meekles sprang up from the clay. Who is one with the light and the light of the day for me now? Instant celebrity me turning a States,
All right. So
Miss
I
Cornwall
don't
start
know.
dance.
Me already take up me. All
Yeah.
right, brother.
And we have to talk
Yeah.
that, that aspect. If we never talk nothing else, we have to
Yeah.
say that, and we have to do that, because I write this so everything starts where the students are in the school realize that I was an artist. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So as a result of that, Miss Cornwall went and tell all the other grade 8 that Richard, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
sing the poem from the book. So every youth now find themselves wanting to know me and wanting to talk to me. So at drum concert now,
Yeah.
I was invited at drum concert as the artist for the concert.
All right.
So while the other students never blew a bulb and I wind up and blow, I didn't do none of that. You know what I mean? We just go bust the place and say respect due to all grubbies and all grub man. Give us a warm welcome in a St. Elizabeth Technical. Some youth are going like them this grub man and I put both gun in the youth them hand. Them bright and fierce they tell us to go shoot principal. But them they think they can't have to eye man. You see me? So
Yeah.
the whole auditorium bus. So right away, you know, from grade 8, coming in for the first week, that set the tone for everything and for every concert we're keeping at the school. So the whole vibration going into states in the first year, you know, it was a high revival.
All right. Well, Richie, we think that we was happy. I'm not gonna say we. I was happy to know that you was accept the invitation to come to Stets. I travel all the way from Montego Bay to come to Stets. You know, as you said, back in the days, you know, in terms of leaving primary school, and when you know, it wasn't a lot of opportunity for you know. So I'm glad that the educational system has upgraded right now in Jamaica, where all the secondary schools are now high school, and we believe that that's a good move in terms of you know, educational wise. So you got into states the first week, you put yourself on the platform. You know, you was also introduced um, by one of the all-time legend from states, Teddy Roy Jones.
Yeah,
And
man, great.
I'm hoping to have Teddy Roy Jones because, as I said, Teddy Roy Jones was one of the guy that always said, "What up to this little maga goalkeeper?" You know, because I was one of the guys that would go in the goal, and he, you know, knowing what he knows, you know, because I'm talking about that. That's one of the strongest left foot I ever have to block in terms of how hard he kicked the ball, you know. But I remember those guys literally tried to knock me out, you know, with the ball because, you know, for me to go in the goal and telling them that they can't score, you know, at the time, I don't know what I was doing in terms of just have a big heart just to say, look, man, you guys can't score, and they'll be kicking at the 18-yard box. But, you know, so I believe that, you know, those were some of the skills that would have able me to win the job to being a Dacosta Cup goalkeeper. Only a few people know the real history, like a man like Richie, that could tell you that you know, I have actually was selected to be the goalkeeper, but I told him I couldn't do it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that in the library. I remember in the library. If the books could
All
talk.
right.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
time that you're
I,
fresh. Remember that
yeah.
you was at Medhaven playing for my minor league, and I was playing
Yeah.
for Barbican. A lot of people don't
Right.
know that. You
All
know,
right.
me
All right.
and
All right.
and Papa was at Barbican, and you was at you know,
Medieval.
Avondale. So
All
when
right.
when we found out that gravity couldn't keep because of the ISA ruling, he had to spend
Yeah.
another year. Wish he would have been, you know, wouldn't be eligible because he would be leaving school. So
Right.
you came into play, and when you were asked the question if you're ready, if you're ready for the game against
Yeah.
Monroe the following day,
Yeah. Yeah.
you said no,
Yeah.
and you know what followed.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what followed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know what followed, but you know
you know
what?
what followed.
All right.
And
You,
then Keen was asked, and Keen said
all right.
yes.
All right. A lot. I never discussed this situation with anybody. Personally, I mean, I hope to put a script in a book when I write it one day. But those are some things that people that really know me real good, knowing that look, it's at one point I've regretted it. When I get older, I was like, man, I let the staff down. I didn't know that they believed in me that much, and you know, but I agree with them that if you got all the team right there, and you know you was thinking about putting this guy in the goal, and he said he can't do it, what the other teammates gonna think of him? They're gonna be like, no, you know, we can't, we don't feel confident with this guy, but you know, again, it comes back down to my ability. I was playing minor league and I was really impressed in Medhaven, you know, doing the minor league. And, you know, when I come back, you know, I was really working hard, but I was still young-minded. And at the time, I honestly wasn't like, I just was going with the flow. I never thought that that opportunity would have come. You know, I kind of look at myself as a youngster, so I'm like, I mean, I got a lot more years, But
which you did. You did
right,
you did a lot more. But at the time when you were asked, one of the things that you didn't know was this. While you were in Kingston, on the ground of States, it was being said that weekly a mash up town.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So even though Gravity was the person who was considered to be the keeper, when we found out that Gravity would not be able to play, everybody, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Everybody collectively, unanimously, everybody said Ian Weekly.
yeah,
Everybody said Son. You know,
yeah, yeah,
so we were like taken aback when you said you couldn't do it
yeah, yeah,
because we
yeah,
were dependent on you. And one of the things that we learned from that was that Keane, you know, Keane was
yeah,
having a bad time during that summer. You know what I
yeah,
mean? He was experiencing, I think he was at a low. So
yeah,
no matter what he did at that time, you know, it wasn't working out. And it wasn't until you said that you're not going to keep. And when
yeah,
Keane was asked, and he said yes, and from that moment, everything turned around for him. So
yeah,
your decision not to keep, yeah, what it did,
yeah,
it gave a shot of confidence
yeah,
to Andre Keane. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And he was excellent throughout
yeah,
that campaign
yeah.
in '89.
And I just want to say that on the record that I love Andrew Keane. You know, I respect everything he have done. I think that you know, he played a good role. You know, he actually stepped up his game
He
in the
stepped up.
goal. You know,
Yes, when
you
you
know,
stepped down, he stepped up, and we
yeah,
were all impressed. Remember, everywhere that you went, you know, both of you had on similar jersey. So
yeah,
everywhere that
yeah,
you went, they said that the twins at States, they thought you and Keane was twins.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
So put a lot to, on the flip side of that. Ian, hold tight, don't fall asleep.
I'm
On the
listening,
flip
man.
side of on the flip side of that, I believe that what the Heavenly Father was doing, it was opening up another door for me, you know, to excel. Because I do believe if I end up being a goalkeeper at the time, I believe that I would lost interest into track. They would not able to get me to commit it to track so seriously. So you know, I'm glad that even though that was a negative, when one door closed, another door was open, and I know the destiny that the Lord Jesus, you know, the Father have got for me. So, but I'm so happy that you was able now to just be able to talk about this now in a fun way, because I never talk about it. You know, I was kind of embarrassed to talk about it.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's out now. You know, you were put on the spot, but as I said, I used that moment. You know, I used that moment where I saw other students at States, you know what I mean, in the past who had downtime, and I used, you know, the same. I told them about the situation that happened with yourself there, and I told him about Keane, and I told him how excellent team perform, and how, you know what I mean, how well his performance was after that moment. You know,
yeah,
and it has helped other players also who was almost like in a doldrum. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So these experiences and these stories, we use them. You know, I have used them to talk to other players and to let them know about it, and it has helped them, and we have won trophy as a result of that experience.
all
And
right.
perhaps you never knew about that.
All right. I tell them the other thing that they never know. What did I actually do? I worked myself in another position, right?
No, I'm gonna tell you something. I was about to tell you, but I'm happy you asked. A lot of people didn't know that you were one of the most deadliest marksman on a field. When Mr. Dunzel said, son, you see that player?
Yeah,
You have him for the rest of the match.
yeah,
Anyway, I'm going. I remember we were playing against Black River at States, and there was a player called Trees.
yeah,
You remember Trees? So them say Sun
yeah,
versus Trees.
yeah,
So you are Sun. A lot of people don't. Your nickname is Sun. So him
yeah,
name Trees. So Mr. D said, listen, you responsible for him, you know. So the
yeah,
crowd starts with Sun versus Trees. So
yeah,
everywhere Trees went, he was a very skillful player. So everywhere that he went, you dip on him like a ticks for the
yeah,
cow back. And he was so frustrated. He was so frustrated. He couldn't deal with the game. And the long and the short of it, we ended up winning the game 1-0. We ended up going back to Black River. We needed to win the game to go to Interzone. And it was San again. You know what I mean? This guy, the guy was so frustrated. I remember we went to you remember when we went to Woodside to play against
in Clarence?
Edwin Allen?
Yeah, Edwin Allen. All right.
You remember?
All right.
And I remember you was when named Gregory Messam.
Yeah.
You remember the game with Gregory Messam? You remember what happened?
I'm friends with him on Facebook. I haven't got a chance to let him know. I don't know if I don't think he's gonna remember.
You remember you followed him everywhere, and he went off the field to get water, and you went off the field with him. And he was so frustrated, and you went back on the field, and you went back with him again. And because of your track and field ability, this is what you use against them. You was a physical person. You know what I mean? Very physical and fit. So everywhere they went, you went with them. And the long and short of it, you remember that he used a word to describe you that most Jamaican people don't want to hear that word used to describe them. That's all I would say. So because you kept following up and down and you couldn't do anything, so he just turned around and blurted out the word in front of the referee. And the referee pop out the card and give it the card. Yeah.
Well,
and that's why we were able to, you know, to control him and get a result out of the game.
Yeah. So you know, I am, and that's why I said that even though a negative could turn into a positive, because I remember literally the guy literally elbowed me in my ribs. He do all kind of things to me. He was like, when he figured out, he said, "Why this guy following me everywhere he go?" You know.
That's when he blurted.
Because Ian,
no social distancing never go on.
Yeah, coach have instructed me that we're going to shut down this player. And at the time, I believe that I used to run for an hour. I could do a lot running. So I figured football game, I could run for the whole 45 minutes without really.
And that's exactly what you did. That's exactly what you did. And they were, you frustrate them. And they couldn't stand the fact to know that everywhere they went, if they go for water, they go to the coach tell them something. Weekly is there looking like this.
Hey,
even the coach is like looking at him and say, "Who is this guy?" You know? It was something else.
Those were some days, and I said, the people like I said, like you, Teddy Roy Jones, Richard Ford, Glamity, Critters, Pancho Garden, Miss Cannon, rest in peace, Cannon.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, them guys there, as I said, I've got the privilege to play with some of the all-time legendary stats guy. I know that I was young during the time, but them guys, just the whole, this is the first time I ever actually get to camp out and wake up in the morning, train in the morning, go to school, eat breakfast. With the what's the lady that used to cook for us in the canteen?
Miss Mary.
All right, Miss Mary.
May her soul rest in peace also.
All right. She's like a mother to us. She just
Mary
wants
was a mother to all of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I said to myself, those are some of the best years of my life, at camp. And at that time, we had brotherly connection. We look out for each other. And one of the things that I basically would say, if somebody have a slippers and you're leaving out of the dam, you could just put on a slippers and you're gone, you come back. Or you would lend somebody a jersey. Nobody would be thinking to say, boy, listen, I'm on the field training. I have anything in the dam. And when I come back, I'm not going to find anything, whether it is money, whether it is electronics, anything that is there would be there. So we get an opportunity to just focus on training and the goal at hand and the task at hand. Because everything that is in our dam belongs to all of us, because it's just a unit, it's just a team. That's how we lived. We were brothers, and we still are brothers. So that is what sets building us. You know what I mean? To be team players. We know how to deal with people wherever we go in the world. You know what I mean? So it was very integral, the lesson that we learned. one of the things I need to have to say, Pow, that little man, I remember when I came to States, to do the training for them to select me, several students from several schools were there from secondary school, and we played a game against the Pow and Jason Walters, and him score a hat trick against the team that them pick up. And this little man, he was just so little, and we will want to kill him. We will want to kill him, but in so agile, skillful, you can't touch him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so you don't need to talk to him, although we know say he's a man who always in the shadows, Ian.
Yeah, sir.
Steve Powell, Steve Powell.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. We play under 16 with him. Weekly. Remember, we play under 16 and the game we play at Monroe College when Bam tell me to go up front.
Yeah.
And Popo was there warming up to come on the game. Because the game was so intense and he never get the chance to come on the field. And I thought it would have made a difference if Popo did really get a chance to come on the field, because as I say, he was very, very skillful.
Yeah.
And Popo wanted him neat off the field and him neat on the field.
All right. Popo, me and him talk about this all the time. He's one of the guys that frustrate me when I'm in the goal, because this is Popo. He would have an empty goal. Empty goal. Right? If a man that come down from like 100 miles per hour, he might go drop him on him bottom first before he score the goal. I was the goalkeeper, that one of the things that I learned is I try to talk to the players. I just don't sit in the goal and just wait for the ball. I try to be in the game with my voice.
Yeah.
All right, all the way from up to the 18-yard box. So again, Popo was one of, I believe at the time, he was the skilliest person with the ball on his foot. And the time he was the skilliest that I ever seen, because now that I talked to him a lot more, he played a lot of scrimmage ball like before he come to Stets.
Yeah, so he had close control. Close control. Because that's one of the things that I had also. That's one of the things that I had also, because I played a lot of scrimmage in Kingston, on the street. So when that's how Ted Rice saw me, at Jerusalem playing on the ball ground, and decided to talk to my father, because once I have the ball, you close up your foot. Remember, me ever get you for move and me ever salad you. The same thing them call nothing.
Yeah.
Now care how much people in the goal, in the scrimmage goal, me ever find a way to score. So it's the same thing, just as with Popo. Mr. Popo beat about 6 man over Stets in the game, against us, the pickup team. And he beat about 6 man and beat him chest and kick the ball over the goal like one of them American football goal back kick after.
Yeah. So that's my brother Paul there. You have another guy named, look, I deal with these guys. They got Brookie.
Yes, man.
Them on my forward. We use Jason. Jason is a good striker. We got Jeremy. We got Jeremy Fullwood, and we got another Jeremy.
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Jeremy Mitchell.
Yeah. And we got Jeremy Mitchell. We got Earl Lewis, which is not a skill guy.
Yeah, man, the baller, man.
Yeah, So we remember all the guys. A guy like Bam now. Bam is not as skill as you guys, but he will strike the ball.
Scored. And Bam was a cricketer also.
Yeah.
Bam was a cricketer, because we always had players from the cricket team. Can remember Peter White Casey was our captain, and he was also the captain and the cricket team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and we had Wayne Cuff.
Yeah.
Cuff was a cricketer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we always had cricketers. We had a mixture on our football team. We had cricketers. We had guys who do tracks. That's all our team. So our team was dynamic. So we have people who can run for a long period of time, people who can jump, all of these things, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And you know the whole
All
thing,
right.
Ninja Man as a long jumper, you
Yeah.
know, a footballer, everything, multi-talented. So if I bless up all Ninja, I can ride daily. Bless up
Oh yeah,
yourself.
man. Ninja. Up to this day, Ninja is one of my. When it comes down to me needed, he mentored me all the way in college. He's still mentoring me right now. We he will call, he called me Friday, this past Friday. So you know, we want to give shout out to Conroy Dale and Ninja Man. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
look, Papa, we want to give a
Bless
shout
him,
out to
bless him.
Papa. You know,
Martin, Papa there.
yeah, Martin Dell. You know, we
Martin,
want to give
Martin,
a shout
Martin,
artist Dell,
Martin,
Martin
Martin.
Dell. We want to
Yeah,
give
man,
a
Papa.
shout out to Dale Bent. Rest in peace, Big
Rest
Reds.
in peace, big red. Yeah, man.
You know, so look, me and we can talk about this a whole lot because, as I said, this man, we have pretty much at least 5 year history of the real football thing. So we're gonna put the sports and thing. Ian, talk to Richie Innocent about his life other than sports at
Well,
sets.
really, really, as I sit here and I listen to you guys, just the passion, for the game of soccer, we call it football. I can see the team that you guys had together. You can obviously see that, playing together, it was fun for you guys. Richie, I have already discovered that you've been a leader from early out. So, the soccer, I think one of these days guys gotta get back that team together and bring them right on the platform here to talk about it, because it seems like it was a very interesting period here at States playing soccer. But anyway, Richie, in a sense, what I want to get to is that at what age did you realize now that you were gifted for music, really gifted, not just that you could get up in the class and do a poetry, but gifted in a sense that you look at it that it could be a career path? At what stage of your life did you realize this?
Well, I forgot from the Genesis, you know. And the whole thing about it, you see when I was a youth, living in the inner city in a yard in jungle, concrete jungle, which you know a lot of talented persons come from out of the whole trench town, you know what I mean, the whole area, you know. And as a youth, it's like from early, me just have a passion for music, because when I used to see them with the jukebox in the bar them and the music I play me a ear, them I got tired to see with face and old pirate, yesterday rabbi I'm ear, you know, the Bob Marley music, them blaring out of the boxes and all them things. It's like it grab a hold on me from early. So from them time there, me did always find myself a sing, me always find myself a DJ. I remember at one point in time, you know, me I listen to Early B, the doctor, one wheel, wheelie make me wheelie one wheel, you know. So I found myself listening to music, and I realized that, you know, at that time in Jamaica, the politics war and all of these things, I was experiencing a lot of things, you know, seeing a lot of death, killing bodies, all of them things they wish we may not go into. But from early in my life as a youth, you know, I was experiencing a lot of things. And it was just the music that I embraced. And from ever since I kept doing the music. I remember one time I wanted to see what was in the pot. I'm gonna cook some food at the yard, you know. And I just said, how long shall I kill our prophet while we stand aside? And I look straight in the pot and the dumpling them. Yeah. So from them time there, before I myself I use music now to do something, you know. So as I grew and all of that, it's just music, and the music does never leave me, you know. So in St. Elizabeth, I went to St. Elizabeth when I was about 7 years old, you know. Yeah. And
Okay.
then I went back to Kingston. And then went back again, because at that time I attended Santa Cruz all age twice, in grade 2 and then back again in grade 5. You know what I mean? So I just, as I remember earlier, and I tell you that I was called refugee.
Yeah, you move a lot. Travel.
Yeah, we move a lot. At one part, yeah. So, but music was what I had all these time. Everywhere that I went, it was just music. So by the time I went to States, it was just still music. You know what I mean? And I used to listen to Stereo One, you know, with Ricky Stereo Lieutenant Stitchy and you know what I mean, Daddy Blue and all of them. I used to listen to Papa San them. The whole of them are DJ. From a little red tape we used to have. So at that time, you know, I used to love the energy and I kept doing my music, doing my music. So that's as I said to you, by the time I went to States now and I hear the ballad of an older man, what I had learned, you know, what I learned on the tape with the artists them, I do them thing. That's how I ended up doing the ballad of an older man. And immediately I became a little star in the school. And then from there I kept doing my music. I kept doing and I was always giving the support and I always got the support at States. You know what I mean? Always got the support at States. And I
All
remember
right.
I remember once Yasu Safari came there at our 30th anniversary. Then I learned that he was a past student. Ed Robinson was a past student and Aini Kamosi. And what it did at that time, from that moment, I told myself, I have to represent States also in the manner in which they represent States. When I learned that we have professionals, you know what I mean, who had that as a career, and ever since, that's what I embrace.
All right, Richie. So I listen some of your music, and when I listen to music and the message that is coming from the music itself, it tells me that basically you've been to a deep place, you know, a place of high meditation. It's like you're listening to a higher energy for the music that you put out. People may not recognize when you listen to your music. It have a sharp edge that will cut and pierce, you know, the heart if you listen to it keenly. Because just recently I've been playing to your music, you know, across the social media here. And now I think people is really recognizing the type of music that you're singing. It. Some of them may think this music was just done recently, but these are music that was done long before. But you know,
I wrote
where
a
do
lot
you
of these, a lot of these music. I wrote a lot of these music at States. A lot of these music I wrote them at States, but just as you said, you know, I had that vision, you know, just like they say Marcus Garvey was ahead of his time. So when he came and he was saying stuff, you know, enough people say, you know, they never even pay attention to it. But now, you know, people don't realize that what he was saying, you know, was very significant and important to our development. So it was the same thing, you know, I was looking at things that was happening and I saw things happening. I saw the lack of respect, you know, and the indiscipline, you know what I mean, and the erosion, you know what I mean, of morals within our society. And I said to myself, this in itself, you know, is going to put us in a grave situation. And we allowed it to fester because we wanted to think about what was festive. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you can't put clean clothes on dirty skin, much less if it's rotten. You know, if something rotten, you have to dress it up. You know, so at that time as a youth, when they are states and me, I said the thing them with me, I say, you know, I was saying a lot of things even before Sizzla Kalonji them come about and Anthony B them. So when I used to left from States and go at Jammies, King Jammies, every week I used to go to King Jammies in Kingston and the P at States. You never know that with son.
Well, look,
I used to
Richard,
go to King Jammies every week
I want to
and
say
come back
that
at States.
all I could say that I was very impressed with your dress code. I was like, man, you know, with the outfit, them and thing that I'm seeing you moving, I'm like, man, Richie doing
A long
something.
time.
I don't know what he doing.
Yeah,
You know, but
yeah.
we was impressed with your dress code, man, because as I said, as I look at you, would come from Montego Bay with one shoes, you know, that's supposed to last me from September to school end. You know, it's always when I see a guy like you, when I see a guy like Steve Powell, where them guys wear different shoes and them got different rug in them pocket, and and you know, I used to live with Steve, so I know a little bit about how you know what he could adjust to from what I used to have to wear a shirt Monday, Tuesday, and I have two shirts. I have to wear one 3 days and I have to wear one 2 days for the week. And sometimes I have to wear one pants for the whole week, you know. So when you see a guy like me, sometimes I have another shirt under my shirt. It wasn't for style, you know. I'm trying to make that other shirt don't get too sweaty, you know.
Yeah, yeah. There's a method to it. You know,
Yeah,
and I my overs the one shoes thing still, you know, son. Because
yeah,
at one point in time, you know, I had only one red shoes, one pair of red shoes, you know, which was a gentleman, you know, what me used to
yeah,
wear go a lack of, you know. And almost every other day, me have to go and Mr. Pizer at the shoemaker man to make him fling some tack, you know, in it, you know, I sew it up, you know. Because as the rain fall, you know. So we know, you know. But you see, the whole thing about it is this. When at that time when I had that one pair of shoe, you know, I was a A student, I was a top student at Lacovia because I came to state. As a my 2 years at Lacovia, I came first in everything. So when I went to States, my first year at States, went to States as a top student, and I was doing well with that one pair of shoe. And then when I went to States, my first term, school tour we did, I came third in the class. And then by the time I leave to go to grade 9, I came second. A lot of people didn't know that. It was when I began playing football, and then when I started getting all them different threads the way you see me and the different shoes, and we could have wear 5 pair of shoes, you know, to school right through. When I began getting those stuff, you understand, from abroad, the whole foreign connection and all them thing there, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I lost focus. So you see, for some people, it is advantageous in a way because you know, say, boy, you have to do something for in the future because you want to be able to, you know, find yourself by the thing them that you need. You know what I mean? So for some people, when I look at it, I realize, say, you know, it's not that my parents never did that try to do something good, but sometimes these things have a way of, you know, kind of put you in a zone.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Yeah, put you in
yeah,
a zone, and then the youth where just have all a one pants and all them thing and a one shirt, him find himself focused more on him education. You understand? So you know the whole thing where the whole
yeah, man.
flamboyant and all them.
I agree with you 100%. As I said, me and Popo talk about this all the time. That you know, again, his mother was abroad, and his mother was,
Like my mother also.
yeah, you know,
Mhm.
his mother was very proud of the fact that he's going to school and things. So she making sure that he have everything that he need. You
Yes,
know,
everything.
for
When we say
the
everything, because you know, say, as them call it fly, you know that. We always, you see, there's a lot of shows that I was supposed to perform at. Even at the state's 30th anniversary. I was supposed to perform. And the outfit that I turn up in a linen suit. And the linen suit when I turn up in I ended up didn't get to perform and start crying. That even Garnet silly. May soul rest in peace. Garnet was saying to Rebel. They love the thing. But I lost my spot to perform, you know, after getting Garfield Baker to perform. And then when I was supposed them draw me from performance. It was as a result of the clothes of my Avan because me I
wow.
shine too much over the star them. Several shows I went to, several show Ian. I went to perform at several shows. I remember going to perform at a show for JCDC. And when the special guests turn up, and when they look and see me in my gold linen suit and my gold shoes to match, I glisten. And
Yeah,
my big cargo on my neck. Them scrap
yeah,
me from the show. Cape Town come to Santa Cruz and Bujo Bantam. They did the same thing. We turn up in a white linen suit, the man them take me out for the show. So so the same thing that me that get from foreign. It was like it was a curse.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
who is this guy? Who is this guy who don't have no tune that road, no big tune that road? And him a come to come outshine special guest artist.
Well,
You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know this.
we can say that was on a whole nother level that I didn't even know about. All I could tell you that same thing goes out to your brother as I know as Isla. I don't know is I don't remember
Isla,
I know all right. Yeah, I know
Isla, man.
I
A
played
college history.
We played for
Jerusalem
football,
out.
St. Elizabeth Football League.
Yeah,
And I
FA,
think
Division 1 and Division 2.
yeah, and I think I play Mr. Lenny. I think it's one of those guys that was in charge of the club
It's
of
a
a
Lenny
couple.
Campbell.
Lenny Camber. All right, that was on
Remember
the
Mike
team.
Olivier, Mr. Olivier. Remember Mr. Olivier was a member of our team also.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
great Mr. Lord of Mercy.
Yeah. So look, it was a lot of history. All I could say, man, I just happy that I go on the steps. Literally, I tell my father that at the last minute, man, I'm gonna go to the school for 1 year and come back home because I'm trying to get into Herbert Morrison. They said I have to go to States for a year, then I could transfer and come back. When I went up there that year, as I said, that year really turned out with me going to we go play under 14 tournament and we went to Kingston to play Wolmers and some all of that thing.
Yeah,
That was the first. All right. We sleep at the
yeah,
national state.
you remember that we went to a preseason. We camped at the stadium in school.
Yeah.
But we camped at the pool. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know the whole vibration down there. And you know that we went down to Charlie Smith to play against Charlie Smith High School Comprehensive.
Yeah.
It was there when I went to Charlie Smith Comprehensive High School and I saw the vibes of the past student them, how them come and hang around, the players them and the support.
Yeah.
I said to myself that anytime I left States, I'm gonna play a part. I'm gonna go back, you know what I mean, to talk to the youth them, so that the youth them to just encourage them and all of that. So it was at Charlie Smith where I got that vibes. I remember when we went to play Wolmers at you remember the game that we went to play Wolmers at Up Park Camp?
Yeah,
remember when we went to Up Park Camp to play Wolmers? And when we went to play Wolmers, and you remember some brought big fight up there, right, for defense states. And me alone go a town, go defense states, Remember Raja Cow?
Yeah, I know Cow, man. Yeah.
Remember the player when named Craig Williams and Nathaniel Barnes. Remember so them want to
oh yeah, man, Ducky Barnes. You don't want to mess
remember
with
so them want to kick down. Remember I want to kick down Raja Cow, I mean have to step in one of them foot, And all of them rush me, and the whole thing, and the cast of vibes, You remember? Right in the Up Park, me kick him down flat, You know that.
Wow. I have
player for my teammate, here, and no badness we are chucking, But
no,
imagine, I am from Kingston, But me I play minor league, and true, them know me come from country, come play minor league, and now me I play for state. Them I say country boy, I want to hurt my play. So me have to just retaliate, and that's what happened.
Well, we happy for you. We're happy for you because I know Barnes personally because he played for my medieval club, and I know the twin from Georges and Meadowbrook.
Remember we play Ali Rose? Tell them that we play against Ali Rose, and Andy Williams, Remember we gave them 4-1 at Georges.
Boy, I'm telling you, I remember the whole thing. I don't remember all the games and the score, but I remember the whole experience touring up in Kingston.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was a lovely experience. We get the chance to, go out on the road and the whole vibration. That's why we say we learn a lot. States prepare us so that when we go out there, we know how to get along with people. And as we say, we never have it easy neither. You know what I mean? So the whole energy and even the 89 team, my first year coming from under 16, we made it to the Dakar Cup final.
Yeah.
We first year, son. You see that?
Yeah.
We first year. And that team was an excellent team. And I want to say to that team, I want to bless up the team. I want to bless up that and it goes like this. We have to do it, even if it's an abbreviated interview. We have to say, we want to big up the number 2, Keithlin Dagman Smith.
Smith, yes.
Number 3, Artin Papa Dell. Number 4, Peter Casey White.
Wow.
Number 5, Conroy Ninja Man Daly.
All right.
Number 6, Radcliffe, Biggett, Stoneland, Mullins.
All
Number
right.
7, George, Glamity Garden. Number 8, Richard B. Ford. Number 9, yeah? Number 9, Conrad, Akipani Tree, Minto. Number 11, Donovan, Indian, Ferran. Number 12, Mark, Benny Cassis. Number 13, myself, Richard Innocent Robinson. Number 14, Devon Rugurugu Brown.
You
Number
missed
15.
you missed number 10. Is that
There
intentional?
was no number 10. There was no
Okay.
number 10. Mr. Olivier said nobody are no star player. The whole away a star.
Okay.
You know, there was no number 10. That was a deliberate move. The 10 came, and Mr. Olivier said, no number 10, no star in the team. It's just a unit.
All
The
right.
galaxy of stars.
I know the number 10 was souvenir was souvenir.
Yeah. So number 15, yeah? You understand? We got Terence Raka Thomas. Number 16, Gary Melville. Number 17, Ted Wright Tikaro Santa Pride Jones. Number 18, Rowan Cannon Arton. May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
It's the only player among us that is now gone. Love you, Cannon. Number 19. Number 19 is Courtney Bam Barnett.
All right.
And we have the goalkeeper them. I don't know the number where you wear, but you have to tell me your number. Do you remember the number? I don't.
Right now you have me. Right now you have me. I can't speak right now because I'm in shock right now.
We have Ian San Weekly.
Yeah.
We have Andre Termite Heel, and our coach, Mr. Wendell Duffy Downswell. And we have Kanai Kasha Senior, and our manager, Mr. Mike, Lord of Mercy, Olivier. And bless up Pancho Gonzalez Garden, the other players them that was among the team. And we have a salute Lemuel Milky Bradshaw. Yeah? Bless up the whole of the team there.
I think we should give Innocent. I think we should include Donovan Fergie on that list.
No, yeah, we have to bless up Fergie because Fergie was our supporter. And whenever time we are trained and we run out of water, he use the cone them and go catch water and carry come give it.
Yeah.
Yeah? So remember when we went to the final, remember that he get his own hotel room in.
Yeah, man.
For the role that he playing. And we have to bless up Richie. Richard Honeywell, Richie. Well, lift up him when we are play. You remember when we play against Umo that States and the rain fell?
Yeah.
And Richie come in and Chris close, Brad, him close them, Chris and all of that and the rain just to get the match we play. Him pull up him pants foot them, get a long piece of stick and get all the water out of the goal so that we could play the match. And I believe, and I'm going to say it right now, right here, Richie is supposed to be honored by St. Elizabeth Technical High School. He is the longest living supporter. He has been support. This year is going to make 51 years since he has support States. He used to carry water to the school to give students before we have a pipe system. So I believe that Richie, who is one of our first mascot, and him say him could have been the prime minister, but every time when him hear States are play a match, by the time the teacher turn her head over Santa Aliage, he missing out on the class and in the States bus and gone all a fourth lad. And until today, Richie is one of our staunch supporter. If I go through Santa Cruz and a man turn on and say, them just use it as to get rid of trouble him, you know. States are idiot school. And remember, them are gonna get it from this up. So them man them love States. And we have to big up Mr. Chucky, Big Belly Chucky from Jerusalem Housing Scheme. He was honored, but we still have to call them man the name, call them man they are the foundation. And we want big up the other youths and we are support the school right now. You know, we want bless up Transit. We want big up Conroy Reed, you know, Kanaka, who is now a police officer. Them man they play a lot of role. Always support the school. Always, because it's a family. So we are bless up everyone in St. Elizabeth. We are bless up everyone in Santa Cruz. all of the people in Jamaica who know say states are them team, just like how people say Brazil and Italy and Argentina. So when it comes to football, everything we states do. You know, that is our states, whether track and field, cricket, anything what we do. You know, states is now that brand. So whenever time we go out there, we have to represent St. Elizabeth Technical High School to the highest.
Yeah. I have one or two more people I want to add to that list, and I need you to help me out. We want to give a shout out to I believe it's Macadam, the driver for the bus.
Yeah, we had what's his name again? Yeah, we know the driver. Sure. I'm gonna remember.
I thought that it was
Macadam was one of the driver.
Okay.
Yeah, Macadam was one of the driver, but we still have two other drivers who, you know, they have always been there. They're there until now, you know, still play them role. But you know, along the line, if anybody can help us.
Somebody said it's John on the chat, the comment. Is that true?
Yeah, we have John, but we also have two other drivers. Them drive go town, drive from Santa Cruz to Kingston. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, maybe because the computer kind of run hot with all of the names them from the 89 team. Yeah.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah, but
we want to welcome Dave Holness. He just joined us in the program. So this journey here, really and truly, we could be doing a documentary about this whole history of you know, I think he has he said his uncle and Warren. You know, I don't remember the driver. I'm trying to you know to get to that.
The name is there, man, because and guess what now? And if me not remember them name, you know, them are gonna beat me up, you know. Can't go back and say it, you know. Yeah. Because
well, anytime the name come back to you, just let us know, because we're gonna keep going because we just real excited about tonight. So I want to add Miss Lorna Bennett Olivier and OJ.
Yeah, so I have to bless up. We have to talk about. I don't know how comes me no call. My apology, Mrs. Lorna Bennett. My apology. Remember that Miss Lorna Bennett was the one who, whenever time we doing our aerobics, with exercise, Miss Lorna Bennett was the one who brought the music and just doing our thing and stretching and all them thing there. You know, so you know, trust me, she played an integral role, and little OJ was always there, seeing what was taking place and all them thing there, you know. Bless up yourself, protege.
Yeah. And remember the video recording of some of the football match that we're able to go back and see you know, the whole journey of the team, you know. So I personally want to say a big thank you to Miss Lorna Bennett. As I said, she have support the team you know, from I know a lot of people don't know that Mr. Olivier, even though he was the track coach, but he was also the manager.
Yeah, he was the manager,
manager for the football team, you know, and everybody know what a manager does too. They, you know, they support the team in all different aspects, financially, you know, help getting sponsor or any little thing, you know, we might need for the team.
Yeah, man, blessed, and the whole thing, and just to say, it was just a unity, it was a community, a family, and we are God bless. I just remember the computer just chipped in a while ago. It was there buffering, you know. So the two drivers were Samson and Diego.
Diego. Oh, better Samson, yeah.
Yeah. I remember that at the final also, them get them own hotel room, you know, when we went down to Montego Bay. Yeah. So I just saw it go. Because whenever time them want to ask questions, you know, them always, most of the people them call for me and say, give me them, let me know what I go on.
All right. So Richie, I have a question for you regarding to the final. Can you take us back to the experience? I know that obviously we have played an excellent first half, and then the second half I'm not sure what to say. It's really hard for me to say what I might think, but you know, because you know, the whole I don't believe Stets was scared of any team. But I'm from
No, we
Montego
weren't.
Bay. I'm from
No, we
Montego
weren't.
Bay, right? I'm gonna tell you what my friends them tease me and say when I go back home. They said the country school got scared, you know, after they scored the first goal and they just think they win the game. Can you
No, that wasn't the case.
okay,
Remember,
tell me.
remember, we weren't at our full strength. Remember that Dogman was a practice Sabbath man, And Dogman took himself out of the final because the game was on a Saturday. So
Okay.
Dogman decided that he wasn't gonna play. And you know that Dogman was a vicious beast on the wing
Yeah,
back.
left back.
And you know you had Conroy,
He was
Ninja Man.
injured. Yeah.
You know that Ninja Man also had an injury. Yeah? And you know say Ninja Man, no player can run past Ninja.
Yeah.
If ball pass, man can't pass, and if man pass, ball can't pass. Because Ninja have a way where he tackle, where him pivot, and so you move, him just move like that, and you can't get around him. And he mix up him whole long jump thing and all them things them. So Ninja was that person. And then we had Papa. Dale was injured as well. We had 4 wing back. I was the only wing back that was there that could play. But what had happened is that the game against Cornwall College at Manning's, there was a meeting that was held in one of the classroom, and they decided that they're going to replace those guys who were out. And they voted that they're going to put Rugo Brown, Devon Brown at the wing back, and Conrad Minto on one of the wing back. Both of them played the semi-final game there, and they did well. Yeah, they had an excellent game. So what basically happened is that they were used in the final. Yeah, they were used in the final. But in the final there, Rossies realized that the wing backs, they were having a problem there, because what we really did was makeshift. You know, we didn't go back with a Ninja Man for him to play. You know what I mean? Try work on him as well and just try get him back in the game. So we decided that guess what, is a team, so we can use anybody. And the whole thing, whenever fear Rossies, whenever fear the environment of Montego Bay, it was just some calls were made, some decisions were made, and oftentimes decisions are made and we have to live by. You know what I mean? Because at one point in time, I was supposed to be introduced into the game. Rugo Brown was supposed to be taken from wing back and put in the middle, and Gary Melvin would have been taken off the field. You understand? But the discussion among the manager and the coaches, you know, was that to leave it like that. You know what I mean? And then it ended up costing us. Some people blame Rugo Brown. I don't blame Rugo Brown, because, as I said, that was not his position. It was not his natural position. It was just a makeshift thing. You know, so even though, you know, the goals came from his era, we cannot blame Devon Brown. And I want Rugo Brown to know this, because he might have not talked about it all these years. You know, some people say yes at him, you know. He was just put in a position and him play the position. You understand? And that's what happened. We ended up losing. We had one of the, you know what I learned there?
Yeah.
I learned from 1989 that oftentimes you can have this, not because you have the strongest team or you say you have the best team. It doesn't mean that in all occasion you're going to win. And I have been playing that game from that time until now. That was the first time I cried. Remember, the entire team we cried when we lost the game.
Yeah.
You understand? But Cassis was drawn out of the game. Mark Cassis. I believe that Cassis should have been there, because Cassis was slowing down the game. You know what I mean? Cassis was slowing down the game and Rossies was speeding up the game. So when Cassis was taken out of the game, you know, that at that point in time, Rossies began enjoying the run of play. You know what I mean? And I have to talk for Ted, because I speak with Ted. And Ted was saying, because I remember halftime, Ted was saying to the coaching staff that to let him and Richard Ford go into the defense. And Mr. Downsell asked him, what we're gonna do with Casey and Bigot, you know what I mean? Because the best way to defend is to attack. You know what I mean? So at the time, Mr. D could have just take out them man out of the defense. But looking back at it and hindsight, I believe that with Ted wanting to go back with Ford, I believe that KC and Big Ed could have remained in the middle and Ted get one of the wing back and Ford get one of the wing back and we shore it up there so and put Rugo in our middle.
Well, as I said, it was a thing where we have lost some defenders. Now that you break it down, again, from our standpoint, everything make 100% sense. You know, obviously, the people that talk to me, they don't know about what we were dealing with.
They don't know the behind the scene. They don't know the behind the scene. A lot of people think they didn't know. We just, you know, we can remember Clarendon College was the favorite, you know, with Paul Tugman and all of them, you know. I remember we went to Glenmuir and we beat the favorite, Clarendon College, you know, and we beat Cornwall. So we beat two of the strongest team that were the favorite that year. You know, and it just unfortunately that, you know, we went. But I believe that all the tears that we cried, all those tears that flowed at Jared Park, I believe that those tears, you know, was really what caused years later, 10 years later, we ended up winning Dakasta Cup. We ended up winning the Oliver Shield. And since 2009, you know, we have many successes. You know, we're doing well right now in schoolboy football. So our tears didn't go in vain weekly. Remember we cry? You never cry, man? We cry like baby.
Teddy Rod Jones was the first one Mr. broke down crying because, as I said, you know, I was sitting on the bench watching the game, and you know, I still, as I said, I still was 15, 16 years old, and you know, this was all like I was just everything was like
it just
a miracle.
It was happening. Everything was happening. Remember, weekly we just come from under 16, you know.
Yeah.
The first year at Dakasta Cup. Our first year at Dakasta Cup, we made it to Dakasta Cup final. I remember we ended up playing Ben Francis. I didn't play in the Dakasta Cup final, but I ended up playing in Ben Francis, you know, play semi-final against Wormwood. Then I ended up playing the final with Clarendon College. And you know what happened at Clarendon College? Them bringing them official, you know, and they did what they did because they claimed that we should have won the game at Montego Bay and we gave away the game. You know what I mean? So yeah, they ended up. That was our first time in the Ben. I think that was our first time in Ben Francis. A lot of people don't know that team in 1989 we lost 2 finals, the Dakasta Cup and Ben Francis final.
Yeah.
But the experience that we get, the experience we have it until for a lifetime because right now I still play my final. So that's why even in my music that I am doing, you know, it don't just come like that. And success come in many ways because, to be honest with you, some people do music and them sell 1 million records. Them sell gold, them sell platinum. A lot of people do that, you know. I see people come to me and tell me that I was going to commit suicide and I listen to your music. You understand? And as a result. So when we look at one person with your music, it may not be on Billboard, it may not be on that chart, it may not be selling all over the place, but somebody listen to your work and say, this saved me, this made me improve myself. You know, there are so many persons who tell me, you know, past student at States, you know, me I do interview on radio and you would call and say, I remember you coming over by the school and talking to us in the grandstand, you know, and I listened to what you said. You know, so with all of these persons, to me, I look at those as successes because many persons, you know, they use music to put the nation backward while they get a forward. Yeah. I choose not to do that. I choose to do consciousness, positive energy, you know, for nation building, you know, for positive behavioral change. That's what we are dealing with. We are dealing with the country, betterment for the country. That's why today, with crime and violence becoming this monster, and people are becoming victim of entertainment because whenever time they hear certain sound and power, words sound and power, persons are saying that this is just entertainment. You know what I mean? And persons are making analogy and comparison to what is happening and in Hollywood. You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is that 2 wrong don't make a right. Because if you have to bust out man and lick out man, Man, I play domino and all of that. So them whole thing that we have to be careful. So I choose to do this, and this is my journey, and I will always be doing my positive music. I have to represent St. Louis Technical High School. The people who before me, I don't hear them doing anything negative. As I say, Ed Robinson, Yasser Safari, Dub Poet, Aini Kamusi, all me hear them say are positive. So I have to follow suit and do the same thing as an ambassador for St. Louis Technical High School.
All right, well said, Richard. We want to give a shout out to we have to forget to mention the great Oliver Clue. I know when we went up there to play Charlie Smith and all them stuff, I didn't really know the history and the connection back then.
Yes.
But we want to give a shout out to Oliver Clue.
Yeah, salute, Oliver. Remember that when Oliver Clue came to talk to us. Remember when he spoke to us at Stets and tell us about the history, and all of that. Yeah. And when we went to Monroe and beat Monroe, and then they made it to the final, and all of what the goalkeeper went through, and the goalkeeper said, Oliver Clue said, the goalkeeper said, listen, if I have to die in Clarendon, I will die in Clarendon. And they throw all kind of things at him. Boulders. They rolled him boulders towards him with the goal. And him still we won the first leg at Stets, because at that time it was 2 legs. So we beat the great VA Technical 1-0 at home. You understand? And then we went up there and the match was 0-0, and that's how we won our first title. And Oliver Clue was the coach there.
Yeah, Ian, as you hear, is a whole lot of history here. As I said, we just our football thing it's one of the best family that I could say that just the whole thing, man. I could just tell you that all those guys that he named out, I think about those guys all the time. Tika Ross. When you heard about Calamity,
strike it from 25 and 30 yards out.
All these guys. Go ahead.
You remember how we used to trouble Raka about this girl Raka used to deal with? You remember we used to talk about
Nicey? I know Raka about girl.
Nicey. We used to trouble Raka about this girl we used to deal with named Nicey. Everybody talk about Nicey. I remember Cassis. Cassis every time when Benny got beard and take out him brand new soap, and as him take out the soap and beard, the soap missing. I remember when camp break and Benny went back to Mobile, and the first night we come back and beard, and him pop off him soap, and when Benny look around there and Benny see him soap sit down same way, and Benny say, yeah man, why you not take with that? Benny decided that he gonna buy the Blue Bomber soap now. And right through the camp, nobody never trouble him Blue Bomber soap. He bearded him soap and wash him clothes in him soap.
Man, I could tell you that we have a great time. I mean, as I said, Indian, Pelico.
Yeah, Pelico. And remember, we have to talk this now. Remember that Indian, for the first stage of the competition in our zone, Indian had an awful run. And they were even cussing out the coach them because of what was happening. So if you ask anybody in Santa Cruz and St. Elizabeth about Indian 89, you understand? They will tell you that, boy, he not do nothing. Because in the first round, he was having a horrible run. But when we went out into the interzone, remember when we went to play Clarendon, the favorite, and Mr. D turned and said, your family, them coming up. Your family, them is here. So his mother, all his family members come from Ola Baby, and I'm going to tell you how important support is. With 10 minutes to go in the game, Mr. D said, I'm going to put you on now. And the long and the short of it, he was the one that scored the winning goal. We made a build-up from Keane to Casey to Big Ed to Ford in the middle to Glamity. You understand? And the ball go down the flank and come back in. And when Indian put him foot in at the ball and stamped that ball, not even the greatest goalkeeper could save that goal. It's as if all the pressure, all the criticism, everything came off him. He was outside of St. Elizabeth. And he had support now for the very first time. And all in the interzone games, he became our big superstar. He became our superstar. So I use that also for players who I see playing in the first stage of the competition, not enjoying a good run, and fans are tearing them down and saying that boy, them now have no use and whatever. I said no, we're in it for the long haul. Yeah, this is a football season. We're going all the way. So win, lose, or draw. If you are a fan, you're a supporter of the team, what you must do, you have to build up those players. And that is why I always go around the team at steps to use music to try and influence, you know what I mean, encourage them. From 2009, I went over by steps and I told the players there that you're going to win. You're going to win the cup this year because every 9 sets of a good team. I said, Mr. Lurch told me that 69 team was a very good team. You know, 79 team last out and goal average. And a goal never score on them. And then 89, our team went to 2 finals. You know what I mean? 99 team won. So I told them there with Deshaun Brown, you know what I mean? I ended up telling them that, listen, this is a 4-9, you know. And it was at the final that I ended up doing the song States Beat Them anyway. Because Manchester didn't want to come to States to come and play the game. So we decided that we're going to play them down a Mobile. And I did the tune. And you know, so when Manchester team and States was going on the field, they ended up in the playing room say, "I work on integrity are the motto." Yeah, Saint Elizabeth Technical born winner. So we just say, "We now come back a Santa with we and them empty, empty. Tell them say the D cup a come back a senti, senti. Tell them the way we big them have to make documentary, mentary. Cause when we touch a Jared Parker, ammunition them plenty. Cause let's beat them anywhere, anywhere. We defeat them. You know, and the whole Jared Park, you know, exploded. And from that moment, we lick out the whole of the confidence out of Manchester and just by that. Yeah. So every year since, I've always done a song. I get other artists to be involved, like Little Hero, you know. I get like Brimstone, Danai, you know what I mean, Prophecy, you know, Brian Hart, you know what I mean, DYCR. We get different artists and then past students from the school like Overall, you know, and OJ, and other kids at the school. Every youth at States get an opportunity, you know, from a first farm student to build a song during the football season for his school. You know what I mean? And then we burn the CDs and give all the taxi drivers them, all of the players, the persons who go into the game and the buses that is going to the game. And we just build our vibes, music and sport. And it work. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that I love the Forever Young rhythm. The
good old days.
You know, that just makes me happy, man. So, Richie, we just know that you have been I'm glad for your support and what you have give back to the institution in terms of your music and your encouragement and the speech and all of that stuff. I just wanted to say this on this platform that that we got many more years, you know, a life ahead of us, and you know, I like that you know you enjoy what you're doing, man, and you have always remember where you've come from in terms of you know, if it's Lacovia, Jerusalem, if it's all the way back from Arnett Garden, you know, if it's from East Kingston, you know,
right, East Kingston. Yeah, man, just always. So we have to make them know, you know, we're all over the place, but just as I say, it's a journey. And the journey has been a good one, and it's a mission, you know. And as I say, as long as it's operation, construction, and reconstruction, we have to deal with it, you know. And we need angels along the way. We need angels along the way. We need angels as in family, as in friends, you know. And I have to say, you know, salute to a lady by the name of Elise, Mama Elise Kelly. You know, she just resigned from IRFM reggae station. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
yep, yep, yep,
After
yep. I
working for
see.
29 years, and it was, you know, Mama Elise Kelly. You know what I mean? Mama Elise Kelly, who
Yeah, man. I read the article.
started the whole thing, and by giving me that constant support after, you know, I was introduced by, you know, a good friend of mine who's an artist, Brimstone, and to the whole thing, and she have done so much in order for the people to hear me, because I was DJing before, you know, and she said, I'm not telling you not to DJ, but you know me, when you speak and people listen, and that's how I began just focusing on just doing poetry for the past 6 years. You know, and I've been nominated for the IRAMA International Reggae Music and World Music Award. 2018, I went to Chicago, perform on Chicago Music Festival, which was in conjunction with the IRAMA Award. It was shown on NBC, you know what I mean, worldwide. So I ended up leaving after getting, you know, advice from Mama Elise. And then ever since, you know, 2019, I was nominated again. And this year, 2020, I was also nominated, and I received, you know, an award last year in New York for contribution to dub poetry, reggae dub poetry. So, you know, what we're doing is for the community. And as long as it is for the community, I am okay and I am confident. I am, you know, I'm comfortable, because everything that I do for the community is something positive. I'm not one that is trying to demolish and to destroy the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Richie, let me
Mm.
ask you something. So know that as I said, I have monitoring and listening carefully of what you're doing. If a person would like to get Richie Innocent at an event, how do they get in contact with you? What the steps to get Richie?
I can be reached on my Instagram account, my IG, which is richie.innocent, Richie.innocent. You know what I mean? And I can be reached at my my Facebook page, you know, my regular Facebook page, Richie, you know, Innocent, and I can be reached at my fan page, which is Richie Innocent, the poet, you know,
Okay.
Richie Innocent, Dipoet. And I can also be reached at Richie Innocent 43 at gmail.com. That is my email address, Richie Innocent 43. And I believe I can also be reached through Ian show.
All right.
Yeah, because
All right.
right now you're an integral part of my journey right now. You know, so persons can also link with you, and they can get in touch with me also. You
All
know what I
right.
mean?
So guys, so in order to get with you, we actually could contact you directly. We don't have to go through no other platform.
So you have my
Um,
direct contact, so you can do that. You know what
okay,
I mean?
okay, okay, okay,
And
okay, okay.
another thing, as we say, you know, we always talk about persons who give us that strength. So you know what I mean? I want to bless up GT Taylor from St. Elizabeth, who always make sure I have a show for go on Christmas extravaganza. You know what I mean? Every year I knew that I would be performing at Christmas extravaganza. So if I say salute, you know, when people work with you, you know, it's a joy. Because sometimes what people need is that consistency. You know what I mean? We have to say bless up Amber and bless up Big A, all the ones and ones them who give you the support. I have to bless them. I have to bless up my wife too, because they
All
know
right,
that I'm a married man right now. So
all right.
now let's put the part in that.
Ian have a few questions to talk to you about. I know he wanted just for you just to tell us a little bit more about this other chapter of your life that that in terms of the marriage and thing. I want to say one thing with one more person that states that I just want to know how you feel about him, and just give me a quick summary of Samuel U. Watson.
Yo,
You
Mr.
know,
Watson. Mr.
yeah,
Watson. Sean Noah. Yo, you see Mr. Watson, we know the role that Mr. Watson played. And Mr. Watson was a man that was a strict man, and he was jovial. You know,
yeah,
some of the biggest laughter we got with Mr. Watson giving us. I remember one point in time, Mr. Watson said, you know, you could jump over the moon if you don't do your education. If you don't do your book work, have your education, it will take you nowhere. And you remember when Mr. Watson said weekly in the auditorium, him said,
Yeah.
when they run you from Manchester, you come to States. When they run you to the Carchet and Bishop Gibbs, you come to States. When they run you from Monroe and Anthony, you come to States. So States is a city of refuge. And the student at the back, for the student at the back of the auditorium to the canteen, they say in the back, Shaka. And Mr. Walter said, "Wanna call me Shaka, but I will shock you out."
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
so
All right.
we always get some. Him always. You remember the time when him come when we are get ready to go play the semi-final, and Mr. Watson come around there tell you about him have black
Always walk
belt,
by the bus or something to look what's
and I
going
tell you
on.
about, and I tell you about him. I tell you about him a baller. And look at my foot. You see my foot? You saw my foot? See, I'm a big baller. Yo, remember one time I go to school, weekly. I go to school and I go to school late. Because I'm in a grade 11, me used to know, say, boy, I go choose which class I go. So me always I go to school after 10. I go meet to get my class. So I go class, so I now go, I don't depend that. Mr. Watson, when I look, I see a car come stop on my foot. So Watson said, throw your bag in the car and come out and meet me over by my office. I have to throw my bag in Mr. Watson vehicle. And Mr. Watson comes, so boom, when I go over there, you boy, because your mother is in foreign, you don't want to do your book work and go to school on time. Yeah? Let me tell you something. You think you're gonna keep up with that? So it was just a whole vibes. Him always full of joke, you know what I mean? But him always there Santa Cruz, always there on the road, always a patrol, always a police. If make sure say we know they out on the road late. Even after school, so what's always make sure say he make the student them go home. Them can't linger on the road. So we have to say rest in peace to Mr. Watson. You know what I mean? Because him sure was that to say if we take in a book work. And I need to let you know this. My first year at States, when I was asked to read, when I was and I know why I'm saying this to you. When I was asked to read, Miss Cornwall, she asked Barbara Cornwall to read. Barbara Cornwall, listen up yourself, Barbara, to read, and Barbara read a paragraph. And I'm going to show you the importance and the role that States play. When I was asked to read, the entire class began looking at. And when I read the first paragraph, the class they turned to Miss Cornwall and said, let him continue to read. And when I read another paragraph, they said, let him read for the rest of the remainder of the 2 sessions. And I read for the 2 sessions, the reading book. Yeah? And they didn't know that I could read. And when I came out of the classroom, walking towards the grandstand, when I walked towards the grandstand and when I look behind me, I see half of the classroom walking behind me as if I was the Pied Piper. And I turned around. I was shocked. And I said to them, what is going on? Why are you following me? And the student said to me that, we never know that you could read. And I said, why? And they said, because you're a footballer.
Yeah.
But from that, you see, from that moment, reading the book and the student giving me the stamp of approval, yeah, I realized now that I'm doing poetry, now I realize what is happening right there. From that moment, the student in my class realized my oratory skill. Yeah, they knew the sound that was coming at them. I didn't know at that time. But looking back at it with hindsight, I realized that I got all of these strength and support at St. Elizabeth Technical High School.
All right. Amen. So, Richard, as I said, we're so happy, man, I'm so happy to went to school with you during your period.
And also I've gone to school with you as well, And play on the same football team, play on the same club team.
It's so much memory, and I say you're one of the you live in my head. So it's
I always remember weekly.
All right.
Always
All right.
remember.
All right.
Yo,
So
weekly. I know we're about to wrap up, but from time to time some little thing popping up. And I need to say this to our players who are presently going to school at States or whichever institution you're going to. I just want to say this. When I went to States, as I said, I went to States as a brilliant student. But as soon as I began playing on the DaCosta Cup team, and I realized that I was coming in the newspaper every game that we were playing, and the games that were being when they were coming on the radio, you know. And as soon as I realized that my name was calling up and down all the place, what happened there, I lost focus because I started to think about that attention that I was getting as a football player, especially when we played the game 1990 against Manu. That remember I beat 6 player and give Bam the ball and him score the goal. The game that we drew 1-1. That was where everything began. That Monroe game. I became a star player immediately, and that in itself, caused me to shift away from my education and my academics. I remember Conroy Ninja calling me to study with him, and I didn't go with Ninja, man. And when I look at it, had I had gone with Ninja, I would have been a genius today. So I want the players, when I hear Issa coming up and saying that players need to have certain amount of subjects, I agree with them. You understand? I agree with them because you have to encourage, encourage the youngsters, the players that you can do this, especially now when the footballers are getting scholarship. You must be able to do your academical work, your academics, and to be successful, to be able to pass the external exams, whether it's CXC or your O levels. So I'm asking all the players out there, sports persons out there, just study, and don't allow this attention that you're getting as a star player in whatever sport that you're involved in. Don't allow that to get to your head, whether you're an athlete, you're a cricketer. Get them together. Balance the book. Balance it. Because as I said, I would have been a genius had it not been for that hype and all those attention. You understand? I allowed myself to just slip into that zone. You understand? And I have regret there. Even my exam that I should have taken, I didn't want to do them. I was lazy. I became lazy because of stardom, and I didn't take some of my CXC subjects that I could have taken and I could have done better. So may I ask the youth them, do nothing. I have a son right now going to States, you know what I mean? And he played on the under 16 team, and he's now going to camp for the Dakar Cup team. And I keep telling him, these are the things that I've done. I don't want you to do the same thing. Just position yourself that the opportunity come. You want to be able to have the subject them. If you don't have them, kiss everything goodbye. Pure brilliant you are, as Mr. Watson said. You could have can jump over the moon.
Yeah. Again, Richie, I want to congratulate you. Congratulations with your son going to your alma mater. Also, we want to officially congratulate you too with your new chapter in terms of joining together with your bride. We know that I
Mrs.
believe
Robinson.
Mrs. Robinson, your bride. Okay.
Yeah.
That. So with that said, and that I'm gonna turn it over to Ian to before you go, we want you to just ask you a few questions regarding how is that life chapter going with your new your marriage, and just give us some information more about Richie.
Yeah, well, so far, it has been over a year now, and I got an opportunity to watch an interview with a certain person, who met his bride, for over 2 decades now at States, So I got an opportunity to get some pointers, and from time to time, I just go back on that program and listen to himself and his wife speaking, and I said, if I follow this example, yeah, I should be able, you know, to do that well, you know, as you know, Mr. Ian. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
right. Yeah, I know that you know, in order for you to do well, you have to be able to take correction. You know, you have to be able to take guidance and counseling. You know what I mean? So if you find yourself don't want to be able to be corrected and to learn from others, then you'll find yourself in grave situation. So you'll make mistakes that you didn't have to make. So since Ian gone over 20 odd years now, I'm in good company. So from time to time, I take out the phone and call him and say, yo, boss,
Yeah,
you know, if this a go down, you know, tell me what to do. Tell me
yeah,
to shut up my mouth. Because then say happy wife, happy life.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess, you know, it's the whole thing. But it's going good so far. And me as a youth, well, we're always humble, we deal with humility, and we always try to respect and show respect, you know what I mean? So respect in itself and communication is a great thing. So once you're able to, you know, show respect, you know what I mean, and communicate, then I believe that can help you with each step that you make. You know what I mean? I think maybe
All
we
right,
should get some pointers from you too, you know. I need some
Ian,
pointers from you too. I
Ian,
need
Yeah.
I
some
want to
pointers from you too.
talk to him, Ian. Talk to him real quick.
All right.
I know that you're getting sleepy.
All right. Before I get to anything, I really just want to thank the fans who are on here. They're basically working the midnight shift with us. We started late, and many of them really stayed on through the ups and the downs, and that just showed the
Yeah,
resilience of a
very
steady
appreciate, yeah,
fan.
man, sure, you know.
So
Appreciate it.
how much work and integrity mean to us that we don't give up easily. No matter what the challenge is, we find a way to overcome it. Because in the beginning, I hope Ian just delete the first part. But in the beginning, it was a
Well, I
challenge just
started a new video completely, new
yeah,
program.
to get on here. It was such a challenge. Who didn't come on who would not believe how much of a challenge it was. But yet
Yeah.
still, we were willing to work it. We were willing to make sure that this program will go on. And it's just so fun to see now what we have after that challenge. We have a full run program, so much fun and everything. And our die-hearted fans, they were there and they've been listening and watching and they tired with us. We just want to shout out to the States fan, even though we know we have people who are watching who is not a student of States, but just somebody who love humanity and look out for others, look out for your brother keeper, you know. And I just want to say, big respect to those people right on here. As I looked, I see Dave Holness, and I gotta give a big shout out to Dave Holness. Reason being, Dave Holness is one of the cricketer, and he pretty much seemed like he was inclined with football
Bless
so
up,
much.
bless up, bless up.
Like he was actually spending more time with the footballer than the cricketers. But this guy, I met him lately, probably 2 years ago. He came over to the US after playing a lot of cricket over and came and doing some coaching or assistant. Came here and he's playing just like a young boy still, still got it, still got his cricketing ability. But it's just fun to see him on here making all these comments. He also make a comment in Richie that before this is over, you may have to go back to that song that you did for the Grubman in the Grubman concert. We
Yeah,
also see Neil Anderson coming up here, from way in
bless up
Canada.
all of everyone, bless up everyone on the live right now. You know, I appreciate of you being here, your presence. You didn't have to be you know, up right now. You could be sleeping, snoozing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So we have to show our appreciation because just as I said, we think always start off rocky and weekly now. One thing that happened, yeah, in
Yeah.
1989, we were going to Kingston to the opening ceremony. When we drove out of States to go to the ice factory, yeah, in the bus with Diego. And as soon as we turned, passing over by Mr. Olivier right there, we hear a loud crash on the road. And when we realized the back window fell out, and we ended up going for the ice, and we come back and then get plastic and put on the back of the bus. When we went up to Spur Tree, where they have the pine tree, them where they stopped using that road, the rain began
Oh,
for the rain, the old road. The rain was falling from Santa Cruz, but when we reached up there, it was as if it was a hurricane. Yeah. And
Yeah.
the bus broke down. The bus broke down. And they ended up after send to Santa Cruz for another bus to come and get us there to take us on our way to Kingston. The same bus, you know. Lose the back window, no breakdown. They got another bus. When that bus reached at Scott's Pass, the bus broke down. When the bus broke down, Mr. Olivier and Kasha, Mr. Senior, had to make a decision to go into Kingston because the opening ceremony would have been the next day at Sabina Park. Mr. Dunswell was left with us. So guess what? While we were there in that bus that broke down, second bus, here comes a truck. The rain was falling and the truck stopped. The truck picked us up. So we were on our way now going back to Manchester, going back into Mandeville now to get a drive to get closer to Santa Cruz. When the truck reached in Porus, the truck stopped. When the truck stopped, they began rushing the driver out of the truck. What had happened was that the driver came out of the truck. And as a result of that, the driver picked up a relapse. When he picked us up at Scott's Pass, so they now rushed the driver to Mandeville Hospital. One of the person who was in the vehicle, in the truck, decided now to drive the truck. On our way to Mandeville, we heard that the driver died. You hear that? The driver was dead. So we ended up at Manchester High School. A lot of people don't know this. We ended up at Manchester High School. And when we went at Manchester High School, we were given a classroom to stay. And we spent the night, 1989, at Manchester High School. And the following day, they sent another bus for us. And that bus now took us to Santa Cruz.
Richie, listening to you, that just tell us our journey. Life never been easy for any of us really, but we have that foundation and that background that we can always pull from. And in saying such thing, I wanna get you involved here again. And it's probably a two-part question because we know we are getting close to closing out. But while you're at States, you just listen to the question. While you're at States there, I want you to know the best advice that you have gotten while in States, whether it be from a teacher, one of your coach, just a groundsman, and as we travel through life, I know life have some little difficult areas and some potholes, I want to know also, how do you get through those time in your life? And at this stage where you are, we just also want to know what is next for Richie Innocent. We did not get much of the music tonight, but we all know, you have done well for yourself in this industry. Another day we probably have to bring you on to get more out of the music, because we realize that we have common thing is sports. And once you go to States, I don't know, if you go to States and don't participate in a sports, well, the bleachers would have been your best friend because you're watching it. 'Cause that's just the life that we live at States. So could you just walk us through first who you got the best advice from basically while there at States?
One of the advice that I got was from, at the time, she was the acting principal at the time. And her name was Mistress McDonald. And I remember hearing her saying in the auditorium that respect begets respect. Yeah, she said respect begets respect. She said it doesn't matter in life what people think you are. The most important thing is to know who you are. And it never left me. She didn't teach me in class per se, but she was the acting principal, and at that time while she was acting. So it doesn't, you see, regardless of the position that you're in, it is the role that you played. Perhaps she doesn't even remember. You understand? I don't know where she is right now, but I never let go of that. And I remember Miss Chambers, art and craft teacher, right? I remember when she was resigning from her position, she said there were many times when I wake up in the mornings and I didn't want to come to school, but I pushed myself to come through the gate of St. Elizabeth Technical High School. Yeah, 90 Main Street, Santa Cruz. And she said, as soon as I put my set foot in the school, I decided that I would give only of my best. She said that whenever time you turn up, whenever you turn up anywhere at all, you must always give of your best. Because whatever you do for the world, that's how you will be seen based on your work. So you must show your worth. Give everything. No mediocre. And I remember once I was in Kingston at a studio and I heard some artists saying, if somebody come to me and say they're going to give me money for a dub plate, any money that they give me, I'm going to take that money, but I'm going to do that dub plate based on the money that they give to me. And I flashed back to what Mrs. Chambers said. And I knew there that's not something that you could do because your work represents you. Somebody give you 10 cents, 5 cents, 1 cent. As long as you decide to take whatever they give to you, you must give off your best because you are the one that is doing what you're doing and presenting it to the world.
All right. But it seems like you got some very, very good advice during your journey there, at States, as I say, sometimes somebody don't have to really be your teacher or, even your principal or anything. It's just that one word that somebody said, that will leave a mark on you for a lifetime. And many of us can testify to that, sometimes it's just that one word that keep us going, give us that drive from day to day to say, hey, I can do this. I can achieve this. And I see Neil also typing in here, that he remember from BP Linton saying the same thing. Respect, beget, respect. And you can see those are solid words, those are words that you can always look back and say, hey, I am happy
Show
that he
respect.
has said that in my
Show
presence.
respect. Yeah,
You know,
sure. Give respect. You have to respect other people for you to be respected. Can't go around disrespecting people, you know what I mean? Trying to exploit people, trying to be manipulative and to expect that, you know what I mean? To be treated in a way that is, contradicts your behavior. So Mrs. Nelson was my civics teacher, and she taught us about community. In my class, she tell me about the home being the first community. She taught us about the school community and the church community and the world community. And if you notice in my poem called Community, I said whether the home, the church, the school, the workplace, we are all one community. So even anthem and pledge, I was inspired. From then, I knew about my role as a patriotic Jamaican, as a citizen from that time, based on what my civics teacher taught me. You know what I mean? So when I found out that civics was for over almost 2 decades, civics have been, omitted and erased from the curriculum, in Jamaica. I was saying, why? What's the reason? Because these youngsters don't know what it means to be a Jamaican, what it means to be patriotic, to play a role, to do something in the community. So every time if somebody removes something, they will say, I need to be compensated for it. They don't know that. Guess what? If we beautify the community, we beautify it for one and all. If we tear down the community and make it become ugly, with violence and crime, it affects everybody. You know what I mean? So my civic duty and my civic responsibility was passed on to me, by Mrs. Nelson. So I want to say salute to Miss Nelson. I want to salute even my other teachers, them at Blackovia, Mrs. Blackwood, Mrs. Neal, who play the role and guide me along the way.
All right, Richie, respect, that you're able to pay respect to those people that have played a part in your life. And you have just mentioned one thing that, always get me. Once somebody mention church, God, I normally like to see where they are. And, I remember talking to you lately, and you told me that, you perform, because we know you're a performer, and you deliver when you perform. You don't just perform, but you deliver. And you told me you were actually invited to the church to perform. And when they actually got the money together to give it to you actually return it and tell them to use it for the church. That is telling me something about the heart that you have for mankind and a whole. And to see you performing in the church, that's another thing. So could you just give us a little more about the church and the role that you see them playing in society and your take on spirituality?
Well, you see, spirituality is a must, because, just as Emperor Haile Selassie says, you know what I mean? If you're not spiritual, you're like a rudderless ship. You don't know your direction, you don't know where you're going. So any wind will blow you wherever. You know, um, Being spiritual, this is something that anchors you and guides you, so that you can do your best in relation to mankind, to your neighbors. So you will be connected now to even the commandment that said, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not, whatever it is. So without any form of spirituality and spiritual connection, then one would lack morals. So then anything goes and anything stands. You understand? So this is why today we find ourselves in a society where, you know, persons are now taking whatever to end someone's life. Yeah. So if those persons were grounded, with guidance from the church. Remember from we little, we used to go Sunday school, and we used to sing Jesus love me, this I know. You understand? When we go to school, we used to have devotion in the morning. Yeah? We always do a national anthem and always so we pledge. And our national anthem in Jamaica and we pledge, you understand, is about spirituality. It's about serving the Lord before God and all mankind. You understand? You know what I mean? And we know all of the things that is being said. If you listen to what is said, it is all about our connection to the Most High. Bagger Brown always say righteousness exalted a nation, but sin is a reproach at any people. And when I used to hear that on IRFM, I always felt it, always felt the words going across the nation. And the moment it stopped, kept coming across IRFM earwave, you know, I see where a lot of you just start going wayward and just believe that anything goes. So, your connection to the church or spirituality, because some people don't want to say whatever, but at the same time, persons who are in the church, you still have to show respect to them, you know what I mean? Because they have their values, they hold on to their faith, and it can teach you something, you know what I mean? So most time people would say that let the church stay out of our business. We don't need the church in our business. We want to do as we like. We want to melt up our jewelry and make with idols and salute the calf. And then at the same time, now when things happen to us, then the first thing people say, where is the church? Where is the man of God? You know what I mean? We are the warriors. So we come now, we say we are the warriors. Even the same thing with the Rasta. When Rasta did out upon the battlefield and I tell the people them how to eat and I show the people them certain lifestyle and live it, them used to say Rasta a dirty head, a fatty leg, you know what I mean, and all kinds of thing about Rasta. And now people are saying with the Rasta them there, with the Rasta them gone. You know what I mean? But there comes a point in time if you don't who have ears to hear will hear and who have eyes to see will see. So remember, when you can't get the good book for reading the Bible, you better make sure you say you're taking some words because of them words that are going to quench the fire we have already torment you. You have to know the words there. You know what I mean? So even though I'm out there as a youth and I go through, we did always know say Christianity and Rastafari, that is our culture. That pushes it, that drives it. Well, we know that, regardless. You know what I mean? And to the whole thing with the little youth, we have to say something about it. You know? It's in the ear with the little kid that them say not
Can't
supposed to go
attend
to
school.
school. You know what I mean? The child is will be accepted in school as them say, and the Prime Minister said it's not supposed to happen. And the Honorable Prime Minister, you know what I mean, Andrew Holness and Babsy Grange, you know, they speak about it. And I hope they do represent us and champion the cause. Because no school in Jamaica, no matter where they are, shouldn't have, you understand? Shouldn't be able to say a child is not supposed to enter school because of because of them ear. Whether them are Rasta, because it has to do with our culture, it has to do with our identity. So cultural acceptance, you accept your dread. You know, even if you say you're not Rasta, but people are allowed to wear that Jerry curl, cream hair, weave, and all of that. The Ministry of Education, yeah, should be the one to say, we decide what happened. And as I said, not school, not supposed to get the privilege that they say, tell a youth say you can't come to school because you're here. No way at all. So I hope we work out this, work it out in the best interest of the country, because international persons are looking at us, yeah, and they have respect for the role that the Rastaman has played and all of that. And you know, it would be a fast to know that we use Bob Marley to say, come to Jamaica and feel all right, getting the song as, you know, song of the century, One Love, Exodus album of the century, and you know, for us to be treating each other like this. So as I say, we need to go back to that place there and show respect, man. Because all them class system, the upper class, lower class, and middle class, you know, we know it exists. You know what I mean? And we want the people them who are the Christianity, true Christianity. Jesus Christ, the Christ, Jesus Christ, was a man who followed the persons who were seen as pariahs and outcasts of society. So even the scribes and the Pharisees and the Sadducees, you understand, did not recognize him. They tried to trap him, you know, with questions. But he went among those who the society condemned, the prostitutes, the tax collector, you know what I mean? And those are the persons who we embrace. So I want the people who are practicing Christianity right now, you understand? If you're not practicing that kind of Christianity and to be Christ-like, you understand? Then you have to rethink. You have to rethink. You understand? I respect everyone's religion. You understand? Because Emperor Selassie says, yeah, you must practice religious tolerance to every faith. Because no man knows the realm of God. Nobody don't know the mind of God. So even though you tell a man, say, you not go see heaven and you not go see, you know, Zion, right? You cannot decide that. Because the most I know before we did conceive and farm your mother. That's what the Bible said, don't it, Ian?
Yes, sir.
So
You know,
regardless of what a
you know
man
your
say,
material.
regardless of what a man say, because me always there on the people in the church. I ever show respect to those in the church. Because as I tell you, say Rasta and Christianity. Rasta always are with Bible. So we ever show respect, ever show love to the Christians. So as I say, don't be daunted. Stick together. Once you're doing the most high work, you're doing the Lord's work. Come on the battlefield. Where are the warriors? Just have me a wise word said to them when I'm a poet, brother. Let's up yourself wise words. Where are the warriors? Yeah? Have to call upon the warriors. Spiritual warriors, yeah? Have to come on the battlefield. It's not a worldly thing or whatever. You need persons to come on the battlefield. Have to come on the battlefield. Have to come and help people, because persons who are now practicing Christian, them used to in our life have sinned before. And people did not condemn them too. And they got them get an opportunity to be born again, to be baptized. You know, so when you come, when a person come now and is judgmental and I condemn a person, you know what I mean? You can't solve a problem by just being judgmental, you know. You have to show people a way. Because not many people know the way. You have to show people the way. And don't forget that, you know, you was on the same pathway. You used to go on your dance, you used to do your thing, everything, you know what I mean, and all of that. See, one of our Christian, one of our brother who was a footballer at States, brother Sheldon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sheldon was a man that was in the dance hall. You know what I mean? And now him is a man on a mission.
Yes, sir.
And anyway, and he used to there dance hall.
Yeah,
He
and
used to live on the biggest dance in New York.
super monks.
Monks. When me come to New York and hear about Super Monks, I don't know who name Super Monks because I know him as Monkey Man as I play
Yeah.
the stage, we wing back. And I know him is a man of the cloth. Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, decent cloth. You
Yeah, Dr.
understand?
Evans, you know,
Yeah,
and also married one of the
yeah
Grace
man.
Trillers, Natalie,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
also a pastor. So, you know, we
Glory,
just want to
glory.
give a shout out to them. You know, Natalie Evans used to sing with the Grace Trillers. You know,
Yes, yes.
his wife, and she was actually, I learned a little of the story, the one that really got him into the church off the street there. You know, in
No, I
terms of
was there, you know. I'm a witness.
all right. So
When they began talking to each other, I was there on the phone and three-way while they were there talking.
all
And
right.
it
So
was
you see,
yeah. So while them
yeah,
a
yeah,
give the
yeah.
words, while they were giving the words about the Bible, I was there listening
All right.
because
So
they, while
part of the legacy. So, you know, we're really proud of them, you know. I'm proud of him, the journey
yeah,
that he's on,
definitely.
you know. So, you know, that one of these days we're gonna get him on the platform here also and just let him share his testimony. Because he has a book also which the world probably need to hear
Yeah.
about it. See it, you know.
And you know you have to bring yeah, you know when you have bring brother Sheldon on it, you know you have to bring him Queen, like
No,
His Majesty
she has
Empress.
the voice of
Queen.
an archangel, man.
Yeah,
She
so you
can
have to,
sing.
you know, both of them have to be there sitting, doing that interview.
Yeah, you know,
You know what
I
I mean?
believe in
Yeah.
family. I believe in family, and I just didn't get the time to dig deep on you and the family. So we know we have to bring you back some other days. You know.
Yeah, most definitely. And I've to say, could have leave before, you know, his two sons have a son who is now a teacher, who's also a past student of STEX.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, he's
Man.
gonna, yeah, next week or the week after next, he's gonna be 27 weekly.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
So,
So,
Richie, I'm trying to figure out. I think. So yeah, obviously, I leave states. Probably, yeah, I probably leave around right about 25 years ago.
we
93.
we can't remember. I left 92.
I leave 93. So obviously, as I said, you know, a whole lot of going on. So yeah, we're happy for the father that you are, and so proud of your kids, man. So just go ahead and just tell us finish what you were saying. So your first one is 27, about to be a teacher,
Yeah,
past student
yeah,
of stats. We would
he's a
love to
past.
do
Yeah.
we're gonna have
Go,
to do
go.
two more show because I believe that I would love to get both of your sons on the program with you. I'm just learning some things more about you that I didn't even know. In terms of your family. So that would be a great experience for you to actually sit, have a nice conversation with the son and plus their state student. So
Yeah, man.
past
Yeah, man.
student. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
that's the
Past student.
blessing, man.
Yeah, present and
So
past. You know what I mean?
and
Yeah.
then the young son right now, as I said, we just wanna to tell you to continue. We know that we know your values, we know your standard. We just want to continue to encourage you and support you with being a father, and a husband and just encouraging you to just continue to grow and try to be the best version of yourself. That's just it's one of my favorite saying that we brought a lady on the program last week, Rochelle Parkinson, that wrote a book that says "Oh God, see us,"
Yes,
and
yes.
and the way God see us is what we're trying to be. Oh God, see us. We're trying to live the best that we can, and we're striving to perfect that. Even though we're falling short, we already know that it's a journey, and the way that God sees us, we have to learn now to emulate that and practice it, and put it to action. So as I said, just want to give my big shout and support to you, and I'm just saying, Richie, you already know that continue doing what you're doing. You're already winning, man. You're on the winning team from
Yeah, man,
1989.
yeah, as I said, yeah, man, can we win, can we learn, we lesson. And as I said, as long as I am contributing, as long as I'm able to say something positive to young people in our community, as long as I'm able to say something positive to them, you know what I mean? I believe that for me, it's not necessarily to get songs that are number one.
Yeah.
If I can tell young people out there that they are number one, that is of greater importance to me. You know what I mean? To tell the young people, because most often time people tend to say that young people are incorrigible. They cannot change. You know what I mean? And to write them off. And I remember as a youngster in Kingston, yeah, in the night, what I would do, because I used to see the guys them in the corner, with them machine, with them weapon, in them trench coat. So when I went to East, when I went to East to live, I you know what I mean? What basically happened, I realized my grandmother had a trench coat. And I say, what? A long time I want this. At Norman Terrace. And I used to see the gangster them down at LHC with them gun at night time on the corner. So I put on my grandmother trench coat that she get from foreign. And what I did, I would walk on the on the wall just as how I see the gangster them in the garrison. And act as if I have a gun underneath my trench coat. And I remember one night, a gentleman called me by his house. He said, come here, young man. And I went over there to him and he said, listen to me, I'm going to tell you something. I watch you each day playing football and you're a very good football player, right? Your grandmother don't know that you're doing this. And I'm going to tell you this. It's three young men, police them kill at Oliver Road. I'm begging you, don't do this again. Don't know if that man is alive or dead until today. But that man, being an adult in the community, saw me as a young man doing what I was doing. Naive, just following. And him called me and said that to me. And I listened to what he said. And it changed my life. Yeah? So I want the persons who are out there, the adults out there, don't just turn your back on young people. Because if you turn your back on young people and say them are cuss school cloth and them are use expletives and all of that, right? You will have something worse to contend with as you grow old and sitting on the veranda. I used to tell them when we used to be on the football field, and a couple of the young men them might use curse words, and some of the people them say them are Christian. So they call them kids and say, come off the field. We wanted them to come there and take up the football and tell the one them who use the curse word to come off of the field. They didn't come. So right across Jamaica, a lot of people, when they had the opportunity to talk to young people, when they saw them going wayward, they didn't say anything. You understand? And now the situation reached this proportion. Now is the time when we're saying that, oh, crime and violence because enough expletives them are used now. Think of expletives them are earned? Yeah? It's bullets. So we're calling upon the adults them. Never write off young people. Always believe in a young people. Young people can change. Many of us adults, we used to behave a way when we were kids. And just as I said to the Christians, everybody can change. God not give up on you. Jesus not give up on you. So why are you going to give up on people? A lot of people wait until the youth become the most wanted. Why not we teach the youth that he's the most needed? We teach the youth them say they're the most needed. Show them love from them born. But you know what we say? We say teenage pregnancy, unplanned for pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy. And because the youth come from the garrison where him come from and the ghetto, we treat them accordingly. You understand? And then you treat the youth like that. You don't show him the way, you don't show him any love. And then you don't show him any love. What you think? Who you think you're training? Who you think you're raising? So all of us, If it is good happening in our society, we are a part of the good, whether directly or indirectly. And if it is bad, we are a part. Collectively, we decide what happens in our island. We decide what happens in our country. Collectively, we decide what happens in our world. You say something, you play a role. You say you're not say nothing, whatever you get is what you get. So I beg, and I beg the adults them, just play your part. Anytime you see the youth them, talk to them, no care where you see them I do, talk to them from now. From now, we can get them changed before it reach too far.
All right, well said, well said, well said.
Positive words.
Yeah, well said. Ian, I'm not sure if you have done it, Richie. I know that time I've taken. I got one final question for him. I got several questions, but we're running out of
One
time.
question until the continuation, never the final question.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. So, I'm gonna ask one more question until we talk again. I choose which one that I want to ask you, but I just want to ask you now that you got your two sons and you got your Mrs. Robinson, and you are um, you know, enjoying this new chapter. Where do you see yourself now in the next 10 years? What can we expect from Rich Innocent as a musician and as a father and a husband?
Yeah, you see the question there? I often hear that question. I often hear the question about, where you see yourself. I don't see myself as doing positive, I see myself as me say, try to be a light to the youths them within and the member of the community. So I just take it a action at a time, a positive action at a time. You know what I mean? And just like, I've been coming from way back from where I'm coming from and to the most I bring me to now, presently, I will continue to follow the most I lead. And anywhere him lead me, I will follow. And the most I always have a plan for you once you obey. And to who he gives a mission, he makes provision. You know what I mean? So time, the Most High is the master of time, and the Most High is time. So in a 10 years time, which is 10 year, the Most High, you know what I mean? As long as me I do what the Most High say, the Most High have me still do what I do. And as them say, the wages of sin is death. You know what I mean? So as long as I do what the Most High say, then even beyond the 10 years, some great thing more have me I do. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to pinpoint and say, where am I going to be? The Most I will determine that. You understand? So I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, and I will follow his lead. And just as I tell you already, it's not about now, who get the most like and who get the most views, you know what I mean? And who into the most drama. I'm not going in a drama. The only drama thing we used to in our drama club at States. You understand? Bless up Mr. Ainsley Clark, my drama teacher. Because I did acting at States. So, but me not in a them dramatic thing there. When I come say anything out of our mouth. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're not constipated. We're emancipated. So we never say anything, you understand, to get certain attention. Because them say every publicity is publicity, but certain publicity we don't need. Yeah? As long as the most I publicize. So as I say, thanks for the question, you know what I mean? But we see ourselves shining for the most I. I can help some more youth by telling them to do good. As long as the youth them go out there and I contribute in a positive way, I am happy. Enough people mess up many minds and them say them big about you. Some of them are the biggest thing about it around here, The biggest artists for creating the biggest damage within the community, and them is the biggest thing. And then you would have the biggest weapon, cause the biggest problem for our country, our people. You understand? So as we say, one day at a
Well
time, one
said,
step at a
well
time.
said, well said, well said, well said. I said, couldn't be any more simple, fine. Obviously, that question is, can be answered in many different ways, and
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's what I see.
yeah, I'm just,
Yeah, man. Thanks for the question. Thanks for the
yeah,
question, man. As I say, you give me an opportunity to say what I want to say.
Your views,
You know
your
what I
views.
mean? Yeah, man. In a 10 years, 10 years from now, I will be shining just like the sun. And the sun is the major source of energy. Without the
yeah,
sun, everything dead. You know what I mean? And I'm already the son of the Most High.
yeah,
So the thing goes,
Why,
you are the son of the Most High.
yeah.
why
And we are
Richie?
not the son of devil.
Well, Richie, I'm really
Yes, sir.
happy to have you on this afternoon because first thing before you came on, I just want to say we did a earlier me and Ian a little session, and I was glad that you came on to clear the air because everybody thought you were just a product or a son of Saint Elizabeth, not knowing that you have been through all these garrison community. Your life
Yeah.
could have been much different, but most of us, as we see, most people see the shining and the blooming and the roses and everything, but they never see a certain part of life that you walk in a certain path. But I'm glad that you're on this platform to share your journey, you know, from where you started to where you are now, and we are very much proud of you. And before you go, I just gotta ask for you to just you have already said it in so many words already, but I like when it finally and it echoes across, because sometimes people walk away in very last minute. You say somebody just came on the program, but I just want to give a few words of encouragement. What would you have to say to the youths of
Fire
today?
blazing.
Yeah. What I would want to tell the young people, tell the youth of today, to let instruction, guidance, correction be your best friend. Because like I said, a lot of young people nowadays, they believe that they know it all. Like most young people, you know, always believe that, they are the first ones who are here. Parents never come before. Yeah? And everything that young people are doing, they believe that they are the first ones who are doing it. You know what I mean? So I would let the young people know that try to form a connection to your parents. Yeah? Try to take your parents' advice. Listen to your parents. You understand? And always know that. Yeah? Always know that there's a supreme being that's responsible for our life. We want the young people to go back to righteousness and to being spiritual. You understand? And once you them embrace the Most High, embrace God, you understand? Their life will be better. So we just ask the youth them, just take correction and listen to instruction and try to be, to do the best that you can be. You understand? Don't try to be an imitation. Just like Weekly said, be your best self. You understand? Be I call it a gonna be. Tell yourself that you're going to be. Choose whatever profession you want to choose in life and say that you are going to be. Whenever time you say you're going to be, oftentimes it is connected to something positive. But anytime you say you wanna be, some of the biggest problem in life right now is wannabes. Wanna be Batman, wanna be hot girl, wanna be everything. Once it's a wanna be or something negative. So I'm telling you, young people, just tell yourself that you're going to be, you're going to become. Yeah? And be on your path. Help to develop yourself, personal development, and national development. And you're good to go.
All right, so well said.
Excellent, excellent. So, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna end this program. I'm gonna end this program with one of your many tunes. Just you know, we we played we played a clip of it on the first episode that was not was having
Yeah,
some technical difficulty. Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
So I just know that I'm gonna personally sit down here to listen this on the way out, because I'll be ending the program, so I'm gonna still find this extra 3 or 4 minutes to end the program because I want this to be a part of it. So any final words, Ian?
I'm good to go, man. It was a good afternoon, good session, despite the ups and the downs and the hurdles we overcome. And here we are at the finishing line, celebrating the victory with a song from Richie, the poet, hear the voice. No better way to close it out.
Yeah, man.
The pleasure we are seeing anthem we are singing again. Now no influential sting. It's like the national pledge and the national anthem is not regarded by our citizens them again. I wonder from where this negative attitude stem. If it continues, we're heading for a great problem. What about I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart and the wise up and courage of my mind? Do you remember that it was before God and all mankind? So why the nation is so obsessed with violence and crime? What about teachers true respect for all? Yes, still Peter now show honor to Paul. Paul in turn now show honor to Carl. And it's an attitude people in almost one and all. It's like we national anthem and we national pledge. To the people, them again don't mean a thing. The pleasure we are saying anthem and we are sing again. Now no influential sing. You don't remember that we have got to be our light. And the nation's people don't want to do the right. And every day we get up and a fuss and a fight. I wonder when the people are going to start unite. What about strengthening us so that we can cherish visions we receive so that we can't perish? I wonder when the negative vibes are going to vanish. With all the things we see and hear, my heart punish. It's like the national anthem and the national pledge. To the people, them don't mean a thing. The pledge we are saying anthem we are sing again. Now no influential thing. Look how we have the Almighty God to send us knowledge. And look at the beast like we are live. You don't remember that God to bless our land and to guide us with thy mighty hand. But look upon the daily action of the nation. Because what the people doing is merely wrong. Because all I seem to hear about is destruction. Hear it on the radio and see it on the television. When we should unite as a nation and be strong and show regard for independence and emancipation. Show regard for independence and emancipation. Jamaican people change the situation. It's like we national anthem and we national pledge. To the people, them don't mean nothing. The pledge we are saying anthem we are singing. Now I'm not influential. It's like the national anthem and national pledge. It's not regarded by our nationals again. I wonder from where this negative attitude stem. If it continues, if the national anthem and pledge of our country by the people was taken seriously, you would have never hurt your brother. Please believe me. Neither send a sister to the cemetery. And respect out of men we are one family. Think generously and honestly, working diligently and creatively. So Jamaica under God increasing of beauty, in a fellowship and in a prosperity, and contribute to the upliftment of humanity. And all we will have is positivity, because the people will reject negativity. It's like the national anthem and the national pledge. To the people, they don't mean a thing. The pledge we are saying and we are singing. Yeah, but we need to embrace civic pride. We need to embrace national pride. Civic responsibility. We need to start respecting each other. We need to be our brother's keeper. We need to have boundaries. We need to show respect. We need to start loving each other. And we need to love God so that our nation is exalted. We need to listen to our moral compass to direct our people in the right pathway so that our nation can be successful and prosperous. Unity, united we stand and divided we fall. Out of many, one strong people. Out of many, we are one.
One
Wonderful
life.
people. Honor to our athletes who have allowed our anthem to be observed and to reverberate worldwide, while those who stand with great dignity and shine.
All right, one love, my guys.
Yeah.
How about
And we want all the past students, we want all our past students to talk to your schoolmate and your classmate, tell them to be a part of the alumni right around the world. Mr. Wilson is there and he's doing a great job. And we want all the past students, tell a student who graduate from school, tell them that they need to be a part, they need to give back, they need to help their alma mater, they need to do something for their school. So this is how we can always influence those who are a part of our family, past, present, and future. Work on integrity are the motto.
Work on integrity, my brother.
Work
All right,
on integrity.
and we're definitely gonna have Mr. Donovan Wilson on the program. It's in that work is in progress right now. So he will be coming up in the next week or two. I believe, you know, keep your fingers crossed. But it's in progress, so he will be using this platform to connect with some more of the students, just for us to know some more of what's going on and what you have in store, and just for them to get on board. You know, I always, Richie, my thing is I always be like, look, we past student is we're always supposed to come with an idea, not just to come and figure out, oh, what's going on, because you know it's the same thing with the church. You know, my favorite saying I said, we the member are the church. The church is a building. So when you go in the building, that's not the church. We're going in the building to have church. You know,
Yeah.
so we're saying that look, whatever we do right now, you know, and to have church and to do it is not necessarily in the building, you know, so it's just want to say that even with the past student association, we all should try to find a way how we can contribute. You know, not just to say, oh, that's not gonna work, man. We should do that, you know, have substance with it. If you can't,
some people bring what they bring. Some people bring what they bring, you know what I mean? And however you can help, because and some people you have to show them also. You understand? Because just as you say, people should bring ideas. Some people, once you give them an opportunity, you know what I mean, they will begin to see what you are doing and it will inspire them also, you understand, to come with something in an area that they can help. And I want to bless up Mr. Clacken, yeah, one of our most successful football manager. You understand? I like to say big up to Mr. Tony Clacken, and big up Mr. Clacken yourself also, because you always a support with. You understand, the wife of Mr. Clacken, and Mr. Wellington. Mr. Wellington has been a great leader for our school, St. Elizabeth Technical, and has changed the image and the landscape of Stets. We see how beautiful Stets is, and we see our achievements and our accomplishments. So I want to bless up Mr. Wellington, and I want to tell him that keep leading in the way you are, you understand, and keep doing good in whatever you do. You understand? Bless up Rambo, bless up yourself, you. One the way I do.
I can't say nothing more, but I endorse you 100%.
Hopeful. Bless up the team. St. Elizabeth Technical team. We never left Stets.
Yeah. I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna always remember that.
Real talk, talk real.
All right.
All right. Real talk. You do it for the
Talk
youth.
Real talk real.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Love
All
it.
right.
Love you, my Stets family. Love you, my Stets family. I love you all around. Everyone
Yeah,
who have
man.
been
See that? I hate this.
90, yeah, man.
You know, it's right in my classic.
From 1961, from the 10th of October when Stets opened to present day, We want to say bless up all of the ones when they open the school and them never mash up the school and set the foundation.
Yeah.
Bless up, bless up.
All right, brother. All
Bless
right.
everyone on the line tonight. Bless up yourself. I'll go for my rules now.
All right, sir. All right, boy. Later.
Bless up yourself weekly. Bless up yourself, Mr. Ian.
All right, blessing. Work on integrity, we say.